This is the High School Football America podcast for July the 19th, 2024. I'm Jeff Fisher. The High School Football America podcast is brought to you by the great folks at First Place Spiritwear, the official outfitter of High School Football America. First Place Spiritwear has an up-and-running spiritwear store for every high school football program in America. Right now, go to the website and you'll see your store. First Place Spiritwear is the hassle-free solution for football coaches and booster clubs to provide fan gear for players, fans, and coaches. They are the perfect alternative to BSN's fan cloth, with stores open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with teams earning 10% of the total sales for their fundraising. You can't beat that. It's always about fundraising these days, folks, and First Place Spiritwear will help out your program. Now, the easiest way to visit First Place Spiritwear and search for your store is just go to firstplacespiritwear.com. That's the number one, stplacespiritwear.com. You can learn more by going there. Just put your school's name in there, and boom, right there, you will see the opportunity that's existing. And if you contact them and give them your logo, man, that store will come to life, no doubt about it. The other way you can get to First Place Spiritwear is when you're on High School Football America at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Just click on the banner ad for First Place Spiritwear that's located on every page of highschoolfootballamerica.com. We're also presented by the fine folks at GameStrat. Just the premier sideline instant replay system that I've been talking about since 2020. It is above and beyond what anybody can expect out of a sideline replay system. It has faster speed than Huddle Sideline. Its reliability is better. Video transfers instantly on GameStrat, and its connection stays strong throughout. Other great GameStrat features are seamless video controls, video telestration, and play filtering. Setup, very, very easy. Only takes 10 minutes. And this is the big one that has sold so many coaches that I've talked to about GameStrat over the last 4 years. It's simply that their customer service is outstanding. I call it awesome, and they have different plans priced right for every coach's budget. You mention High School Football America when you're talking to the fine folks at GameStrat, and they're going to give you a friends and family discount. Now, it's easy to get to GameStrat. You can do it the same way you get to First Place Spiritwear. You can go directly to the GameStrat website, which is GameStrat.com, or when you're on High School Football America at highschoolfootballamerica.com, just click on the banner ad for GameStrat, and that will take you right to GameStrat, and you can sign up for your free demo. Well, the High School Football America podcast will turn 13 years old on Sunday. And over those 13 lucky years, I have never made a trip to the Bronx for an interview. But I am now. And this is coming out of the mouth of a Red Sox fan, by the way, not a Yankees fan. But anyway, we're going to talk some football here from New York City, and a team that has done some wonderful things under the direction of head coach C.J. O'Neill. Cardinal Hayes from the Bronx in New York, number 93 in the High School Football America 300 preseason rankings, powered by NFL Play Football. Last year, they win the New York Catholic State Championship. Finished number 109 last year in our national rankings. And the Catholic League in New York, the New York Catholic League, is a good one. We've got 4 other teams in our preseason national rankings. But this story goes beyond football, I think. It's unusual, and Coach O'Neill is on the line right now to talk with me about what he's done, the success he's had there, and what makes Cardinal Hayes just a little bit different than some team out in some suburb someplace. Thanks for taking the time, Coach.
Thank you, Fish. So we got to get you down to Little Italy in the Bronx, get you some real food. That'll get you back to the Bronx more and more. I guarantee you that. My place Dominic's down there. Special food.
I'm ready. Well, we come to New York City every year for Christmas. Our kids, our daughter grew up in the city. Basically, she lived there after she left graduated from high school, and now in the suburbs. But love New York City. I love it a lot. So I look forward to that. But let's talk some football. And I think, you know what, that's a good place to start, right? The people around the country that have been listening to us for over a decade know what we do, how we do it. We tell the story of America through the lens of high school football, and we think of these, whether it's modern day in Southern California or some little town in the middle of Iowa. But you guys are smack smack dab in the middle of New York City. Why don't you put on your ambassador hat and talk a little bit about Cardinal Hayes and how high school football fits into the fabric of your school there in the Bronx?
Look, Cardinal Hayes has been around for 82 years now, and we've a rich tradition of football. We've been up and down for a number of years. This is my 26th year at the school, my 22nd as the head coach. It really is a special place. We are located in the South Bronx, about 3 blocks south of Yankee Stadium. Okay. We're in the poorest congressional district in the United States. We draw kids from Manhattan, from Brooklyn, from the Bronx, from Queens, from Westchester, which is above New York City. We really get an opportunity to work with a diverse group of kids who everyone brings their own special qualities to the table, and it's an adventure every day. Let's just say that.
Well, we did a little prepping. You and I have talked off the line here before we got this interview going. But one of the things that I read that I wanted to hear about was your facilities. You're a team in the top 100, but you don't have the shiniest of facilities. And I'm not meaning that to be mean or anything, but to let the people around the country know what it is you deal with day in and day out that makes it just a little bit more unique than most places.
Well, our practice facility, we have 3 teams. We have a varsity, JV, and a freshman. But our 3 teams, we share an 80 by 45 yard turf field. Our alumni, we have a great alumni base. They turfed it out for us. It wasn't always turf throughout my career. But, there's definitely some issues there. We don't have lights there. We're wedged in between 2 train lines that come down from Westchester, the Harlem and the Hudson lines. So we're right on the train tracks in there. We don't have an official home field. We played for a number of years in the shadow Yankee Stadium at McCombs Dam Park. Field really isn't up to par right now. So we luckily Columbia University let us rent out their facility. So that's where we won the state championship last year. We played all our home games, including the state championship at Columbia, which is about a 15-minute ride for us. The kids adapt. That's one thing I've learned. We had to get once daylight savings time started, we were walking a few blocks down to another field for a public school that has lights. We get our practices in there, so all the levels could get going, and you figure out ways around obstacles. Simple as that. You can stand at them and complain, or you can go over them, under them, around them, through them, whatever you got to do. And the kids really did a tremendous job last year of getting through them.
Well, you did a good job of telling the story there of, it's not your normal picture there. C.J. O'Neill on the line, Cardinal Hayes.
I mean, the other thing real quick, just this video, the best part about last year was we redid our weight room. Our weight room's now fantastic, but it was out. We had to move it out. So we were like Venice Beach last year. We were out in our parking lot with all of our weights for the whole summer. Now we're in a great facility, a brand new facility inside the building. But last year was interesting.
Venice Beach in the Bronx. You can't beat that. Coach O'Neill on the line here. Cardinal Hayes, what a year last year, a state championship, a high national ranking, another one going into this year. And let's look back before we look forward, Coach. I'm sure every time your head hits the pillow, there's probably something that makes you smile about 2023. Before we get into the kids, just give me an overview and the listeners an overview of what makes you smile about last year's championship season.
I'll tell you what, the biggest thing was the year before. So, we're coming out of a pandemic, and, the inner city, the talking point that inner city kids were negatively affected by the pandemic, worse than other kids is completely true. These kids were locked in their houses playing video games for a year and a half, and we came out, and our numbers for that senior class 2 years ago were way down, and we made the concerted effort. We played 13 sophomores on the varsity 2 years ago, so now 3 years ago.
Wow.
And we struggled. We went 2-8. And, in a year, in a time where, everyone jumps in the transfer portal, everyone, gives up, everyone stops working, this group of kids, they went to work and they stuck together. And from 2-8 to going into an off season to, working their tails off to winning a state championship the following year. Now, I don't want to say those 13 sophomores who played, that year were obviously, they played for a reason. They had a huge potential to them, and they just needed to learn how to play football. and they did a great job of learning how to play Cardinal Hayes football, and we reaped the benefits after. So that's probably the biggest smile I get, that these kids really exemplified what we talk about is lacking in society today.
Mm-hmm.
They exemplified, buckling down, going to work, getting, having a negative thing happen to them, and instead of running, instead of transferring, instead of, sitting in the corner and crying, they just dug down. And, so a sense of smile and a sense of pride, really, I get from that.
Yeah, that's a great story you're telling there. And before we get into the kids, by name some of the leadership on last year's team, let's kind of prep this by for the listeners around the country who go, New York football? What are you talking about here? Well, folks, the New York Catholic High School Football League is a special one. Aside from Hayes, Iona Prep comes in our preseason rankings at 109. Archbishop Stepinac comes in at 118, St. Anthony's 173, and Monsignor Farrell 268. That's 5 teams in this one league that I've grown to appreciate, and our algorithms picked up on for our rankings. And you guys are going outside of your own confines too, playing some good out-of-state opponents and all that. So why don't you again put on that ambassador hat and talk to the people around the country about how good your league is, the AAA version at least.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've had a number of successes going outside our league now. And I think the big part of it is we've just had guys, this is my 22nd year as the head coach there. It's my 26th year at the school. Coach O'Donnell up at Stepinac has been there since back in 19, none of your business.
We've had him on the show, I know.
Without a doubt. Great man. Coach Spagnola, coach for Coach O'Donnell, he's been in the league. Farrell and St. Anthony's are all consistency. So I think when you get consistency at coaching, you get guys who are competitive and want to get better, and they're going to raise the bar. And I think that's really what's happened around here, where the bar has just gotten higher and higher, and everyone's, whether it's getting players, getting strategy, getting better at how you coach, getting better at how you get the kids prepared. And you've just seen it grow. And we want more challenges. So we've been going out of state, and, we've had, ups and downs. We were pretty successful last year. We went out to Philly and played number 4 team in Pennsylvania last year, and we played a Jersey team, and we're going to keep doing that. When you compete, you're competitive people. You want to get better every year, and you got to play against the best to do that. So we're looking forward to we're opening up with Erasmus Hall, which is a public school in New York City. It's a tremendous talent come out of it, and Coach Lamberg is a tremendous coach who's been there for quite a number of years and really learned how to be successful there. But we've actually had 2 young men this year go into the NFL. We had Elijah Jones drafted out of Boston College in the 3rd round, number 90, which is a special number to our program, and to the Cardinals, in which we're the Cardinals, and Rob Javier signed with the Tennessee Titans. So we'll have two DBs playing in the NFL this year.
Awesome.
And it's just, it's a development. For years, New York was a basketball state, right? And we played basketball. Well, we've found the ability to talk some of those 6'2" forwards into, trying to find another way around it. And, we've had a lot of success in it.
Yeah, and I was going to go into the kids, but since I do listen when you're talking there, you said number 90 is special to your program. So when I hear something like that, I got to ask the question, tell us about that story. Why is 90 special?
We had a young man named Delano Cohen back in 2015 pass away after a playoff game. And he was a special player for us. He was a special kid. And we want to keep his memory alive. And Delano wore number 90. And he's we're going to keep him alive. And he definitely puts his finger on things, puts his finger on the scale at times for us. Good. We invoke him before every pregame. So it's kind of ironic that Elijah out of Boston College went to number 90 to the Cardinals, as opposed to number 91 to where Jeff Hafley was the head coach of Boston College. His head coach was drafted 91 at Green Bay, and Anthony Campanelli is the linebacker coach at Green Bay who recruited him to Boston College. They were sitting at 91, and and every time you think there's not a God, I always get reminded, oh, no, we like to give you a little wink every once in a while.
Yes.
So Delano, we keep his memory alive. So him going number 90 to the Cardinals was special.
Beautiful story. Thanks for sharing it. C.J. O'Neill on the line, Cardinal Hayes. Bronx, New York, top 100 this year, number 93, sitting on our preseason top 300. And like I said,
should have got it to number 90.
You need to be. Oh. Thanks for waking me up there and popping me aside the head there a little bit. No, Coach. But let's see. We talked about last year what made you smile. But again, you get to do the interview. You get the accolades as the HC. You also get the crap sometimes. But let's talk about the kids, the guys that helped you out with that. I'd love you to have the whole roster on here. We can't do that, but give us some of the key leaders on both sides of the ball, if you will.
Well, obviously, quarterback is a very special position. We were blessed with a number of years ago. We had the Beelan family come to us. So we had a young man named Willie Colon. Willie played a young man now. I guess he'll bust my chops. He was at our youth camp last night. But Willie played for the Jets and Super Bowl winner with the Steelers. He's on SNY Sports now. He was on Barstool Sports for a while. Willie calls me up. He had played for me, went to Hofstra. I'm a Hofstra guy. Used to have football back there.
Oh, yeah.
Calls me up and goes, "Hey, Coach, my pastor's son is going to another school in Jersey." He said, they want him to play corner there. He wants to be a quarterback. I said, you know what? Let's bring him in. I called up the coach over there. I said, "You mind?" He goes, "No, it's a great family. You'll love him." Another Campanelli. So he comes in, and little shocking, shouldn't be shocking, but it was shocking that Willie Colon's pastor is Pastor Beelan is 6'5" and played football at Vanderbilt. So he walks in with his 15-year-old son, Henry Beelan, and Henry ends up starting for us as a sophomore. We win the league championship with him as a sophomore, and he's down at Duke right now playing quarterback. Actually played it against FSU this year, which was interesting. Running out the tunnel at FSU is always interesting. But the moral of the story is, so he has two younger brothers. Henry has two younger brothers, Richard and Blake. So Rich and Blake came. They've been in our program for 4 years. Rich took over at quarterback when Henry went off to Duke, and struggled through a 2-8 year, just like the rest of us, but, really did an amazing job and kept working, and he's Syracuse bound next year. But he was a tremendous leader and really done a great job as a dual threat kid who just makes plays. The old, no, yes, happens quite a lot. When you're watching Rich play, he can really extend the play after the coaching's done. So that family really helped us and cemented us around here, and it's going to be sad to see them go on. But Rich is, Syracuse bound, and we're waiting for Blake to make a decision between a number of schools: Duke, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Virginia, Wake Forest. So we're waiting on that to happen. But those two have really been just had a big touch for us. Another kid coming back for us next year is Kamari Valentine. Blake has got all those choices. Kamari was the defensive lineman of the year in the league. It was a little more sawed off, but just great get off, tremendous football player, plays with an edge, is just a great kid. And, having two high-end defensive linemen, obviously, there's been a lot of teams that one just having great defensive linemen being the main thing they're doing. And the two of them out there on the field, along with, some other kids who actually, do a great job. It's been awesome. Jaden Mann, our offensive tackle, who's also Syracuse bound. Coach Brown, the new staff up there has done an excellent job recruiting. He's really been a pleasure to watch grow also. If we're talking about last year's team, we lost some good talent in that senior class.
Get him in by name. Get him in by name.
Get him by name. Cleveland Charlton's heading down to Townsend. Cleveland, 6'5" receiver, who I think Townsend got a steal right there. He's tremendous character and 6'5" kid. Our track program, he ran track for us. Our track program actually holds the high school record in the 4x2 at Hayward Field out in Oregon. So our track program is pretty special. And just like football, they practice in the hallways. So it's like I said, Hayes is a special place. We don't worry about obstacles. We just figure out over, under, around, and through. And Cleveland is definitely going to, as he develops as a young man, we're gonna watch him grow, and his career is going to go out the roof. Abdul Ba was our defensive captain. He's heading to New Haven. Aldrich Boyaki's heading up to Union College. Mike Dunn, the offensive lineman, heading out to LIU. So we had some very talented kids in that senior class. Elijah Garcia is going to play Western New England. So we just, we pride ourselves. The job isn't winning football games, Cardinal Hayes. The job's, it's part of it, and the job is developing what we call Hazemen, which is young men of character. But it's also getting the kids off on the next step in their life, getting them opportunities, getting them the ability to go to college and take their lives, to that next plateau. We're all inner city kids here. I grew up in the Bronx, and we want to, you want to keep growing your family. My parents, either my parents had college degrees, and I have a master's degree, and that's what you're hoping you just building kids up and getting them off and getting them opportunities and watching them take those opportunities really is just awe-inspiring. I'm sure I'm missing people in that group right there, but it is what it is. I apologize up front.
Well, you know what? They know who they are, and it sounds like you got a pretty tight family there, the Cardinal Hayes family, when it comes to the football program. C.J. O'Neill on the line with us. Head coach since 2004 there, and coach, again, you get all the accolades. You get to hoist the trophy and do an interview like this, but you've got a coaching staff, I'm sure, that has been there maybe as long as you have in some instances. I don't know, but I would love for you to take a few moments to talk about your staff, get their names on here, and their role that they've played in building this program up.
Well, we have. We really, nobody as long as me. We have one guy, Dan Miro, who circled back to us. Dan, my first year at the school is 98, 99, and I was a JV assistant. He was a JV head coach. We coached for a few years together. Then he went off, coached around Jersey, won a few titles out in Jersey, and then came back because it is a special place. And he's been with us for the last several years. We have a number of alumni who come back and are coaching for us. George Dawson, Marcus Reyes, who are Isaiah Williams, who are just amazing because that whole concept of being a Hazeman, they know it. They lived it. So they can, it's hard to get someone from the outside to put it in, Tariq Moncrief, to put it into a kid when you didn't live it yourself. And their ability to do that is just special, and to watch it happen, because you're going to have trying times in football, especially in today's society, right? Like, and just learning how to grind, learning how to face obstacles and deal with them is important, and that's what we pride ourselves on. We have a gentleman by the name of Edmund Wilson, who was a Bronx, just had some young children, young boys himself, started a Bronx program, the Bronx Chargers. Ed came on board 3 years ago. And we had a number of Chargers over the year who came through our program, and he's really just did a tremendous job. He's just a leader of men and just a tremendous role model for it. Our whole program really, we just having the consistency of guys staying in is the key. You want to raise children, it's consistency. Craig Joseph was the captain of Cardinal Hayes football my first year. He is now the vice president of the school. So he went away, went to college, a place called Mercyhurst, came back, started teaching math, just kept going up the ranks, and he's the guy. He's the guy at the top of the list now, and he's such a good human being. It just trickles down through the rest of the school. It's and we're a school of 800 boys in the South Bronx, so there's going to be trying times, and you're going to have to deal with them. And having his hand on the wheel really is just tremendous. Even our principal, Bill Less has been there 52 years.
Wow.
So it's really that consistency that really has aided in helping us grow. We got a young man join us. Duffy Brennan was our offensive coordinator last year. He did a great job of picking up the helm from from some gentlemen who had moved on from Kyle Lamont, who's out of Darien, Connecticut now, and Kyle is having success out there. But life goes on. You lose coaches, and you got to keep them. That's the whole. Especially when you're hiring young guys, because they get better every year. And we had an old saying: you don't really become a good coach till year 6. You got a chance of being a good coach, and that's when you've made all your mistakes, and you can you start figuring out. I don't want to do that again. But it's just been a tremendous stuff. He did a great job last year, and obviously having players helps, but you got to coach them. Yeah. And as anyone who listens to this show right now knows, it's an important factor, especially today. Where kids are, kids they need direction.
Yeah.
And a great staff of young men who help.
One of the things that you were saluted for back in 16 was being the Coach of the Year by the New York Giants. Everybody that listens to High School Football America knows about our partnership with NFL Play Football. All of the teams around the nation, all of the NFL teams have their high school Coach of the Week, and then at the end of the year they hand out a Coach of the Year award. So I'm going to go twofold on this, I think, Coach. A, what does it mean to you to have, the local NFL team, the Giants or the Jets, but in this case it was the Giants for you, reach down into the game for you? And then I guess after the championship, there was I think I've heard of Strahan, I think is his last name. Good Morning America also paid you all a visit and all that. So putting it together, what does it mean to have the NFL reaching down, and what was that event like after winning the championship when you had one of the greatest Giants come out and celebrate your program?
Such a class organization. The Mara family, they've always they're very in tune. They're Iona Prep people. They graduated from Iona Prep. A lot of their family's gone to Iona Prep, but just a class organization, just a class family, really is what it is. And there's a gentleman who works there, Ethan Medley, who's in charge of the community relations, and it didn't take long to realize that this is a good guy to know. But with that said, he's helped us tremendously. The Giants organization, just such a class organization. We had Ethan sent Saquon Barkley here. We did a Campbell Soup commercial. We did we're actually going out to watch their practice at the beginning of August. Just really watch how they go about their business. We've been to their facility. They just such a class organization looking to give back. And, obviously, Michael Strahan coming to the school and surprising us on Good Morning America was just tremendous. The kids were blown away by it. Mm-hmm. It was, if you're talking to representatives of football, Michael Strahan is about as good as you're going to get, and just in person when the cameras were off, just such a warm and friendly person. It was just amazing. Yeah. The New York Giants, I'm a lifelong Jet fan, and the Jets definitely have acknowledged us, and we go to Jets 7-on-7 every year. But they're a great program, and we love dealing with them. Also, the Giants have definitely stepped forward and really attached to us, and been part, helped us when we needed it. We had an interesting story this year. Actually, we had so our radio. Batteries in our office, the football programs nowadays, everything's battery powered, right? Like you're on the sideline. So we had a fire in our football office in the middle of the season, where everything got destroyed.
Wow! And
the Giants reached out and sent us a grant, and that really helped us kept us going throughout the whole process, because it was a rough couple of weeks where we had folding tables in the hallway were the football office, and that's where we were conducting, college coaches were coming in and meeting with kids, and it was an interesting few weeks, and the Giants jumped right to our aid and sent over some money and got us back up and running, obviously, without a hitch in the loss column there, which was nice.
Yeah, Giants, Jets, Giants. Doesn't matter. It's like I said at the top there with the Yankees and the Red Sox, right? There's a rivalry on the field, but those teams are doing some special things. Those two NFL teams in the community there, and I know you appreciate it. You can hear that. C.J. O'Neill on the line. We're getting ready to wrap things up here. We looked back, but now it's time to look forward. What's today? The 19th of July. What's right around the corner, Coach? Tell us a little bit about what you're doing here in the off season and what you hope to accomplish in the fall camp to get yourselves ready for a run and maybe improve on that number 93 ranking in our national rankings.
The summer is ticking away. I learned a long time ago. It's all right to be sad that your summer's over, but and still look forward to your fall beginning. So yeah, the summer's ticking away, and we're in the weight room where we're getting after it right now, and it's a challenge. I take it might be more of a challenge to sustain success than it is to initiate it. You know what I mean? Because you can get some hungry kids who who want to feel success and they keep fighting for it. But once you get up there, staying on that level, especially when you got kids getting recruited and you got kids who are there's NIL deals in the world now and all this stuff, and you're saying, no, show up on time, get to work. And it's a special young man who has the ability to do that, which has been impressive watching these young guys do that. Because, society isn't helping them. Getting told you're going to get an NIL deal at 16, 17 years old, isn't, it might turn down the grind. I mean, you think of guys in contract years who are, professional athletes, and then they go after their contract year and they don't meet the same numbers,
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that in a 16, 17-year-old, so it's definitely a challenge, but I think we're up to it. We return a very strong core. Obviously our defensive line is back. We had another young man who started for us. All three guys are back on the D line. Derek Lopez is the third there. He's a young man who's going to be playing college football someplace also. Having your quarterback back is big. We have Reed Jones at receiver, who's we returned three of our four receivers, which is big, obviously. Having a quarterback back and three or four receivers. Reed Jones, who's heading out to Yale next year, which doesn't help. Smart guys win football games, right? And so having Reed out at Z and having Rich Phelan, who had multiple is going to Syracuse, but had multiple Ivy League offers. A young man by the name of Kenji Burnham. Kenji was our Swiss Army knife. He's our backup quarterback. He played H for us. He was knocking defensive ends. He was running bluffs. He was, he does a little bit of everything for us, and does a little bit of everything with passion and with aggression. And he's back. And then Antoine Harvey is our other receiver. So we return guys from there. We got some question marks at the other positions on offense, but that's the beauty of this game, right? Like,
sure is.
Guys graduate, new kids get new opportunities. So we're going to see some young men battle it out over the, during late August and see who comes out of the mix. I'm looking forward to watching the development. It's really what keeps you young in this game as you're coaching, is you get new young kids coming every year, and you got to watch them learn how to grind again. New group, learn how to grind, learn how to work. And it's going to be interesting in those other positions. Our offensive line, obviously we returned Jaden Mann, and Daniel Frazier was our center last year. He's back, but otherwise we got, some young guys coming up and who've got, got opportunities in front of them. Linebacker, we got opportunities in front of us. We got safety coming back by the name of Tyrone Smith, who actually had 8 takeaways last year, 5 defensive touchdowns.
Wow.
Johnny on the spot. He was there, caused a bunch of them. Picked up a couple of them, ran them in, but he's a talented kid. Just picked up an offer from the University of Maine, and there'll be more to come. He's a young kid. Big thing we get in the city too. We get a lot of young kids, so we got a lot of 16-year-old seniors playing for us. Tyrone and Reed being 2 of them right there. That are you're 16. You're physically
not there yet. Yeah,
I'm
not
curious.
there yet.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what 19 looks for those 2 young men alone. You know what I mean? They're, a couple more years in the weight room, a couple more years of development, and we'll see, what their bodies look like. Because you look at them right now, and as talented as they are, you can still see they're young kids, and what that ceiling's going to be. The ceiling is really high, and I have a feeling they're gonna get to it.
And we put a nice bullseye on your chest, too, I guess, by putting you 93. But I think it sounds like you, not only do you want it at 90, but I think you want to see that thing climb up there. So I know you're busy. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to share a little bit of what Cardinal Hayes football is all about. As I said, probably most people that started listening here going, this isn't going to be a good story. The Bronx, New York, that's like, nah. You told a great story, weaved a great story about what your community is there, the football community, and we just appreciate the hell out of what you guys do for the coaches there, for all the kids in your school. So thanks for taking the time, Coach, and good luck in 2024.
Now, Fish, thank you for all you do for high school sports. We got to keep this thing. High school football is keeping America alive. Let's remember that. We got to keep making young men of character, keep making young men who are looking to strive and be fathers and successful men. And, football is a great, great tool for that. We got to keep this thing going.
Yeah, amen to that. And thank you for the kind words. Thank you very much. I appreciate those kind words. All right, Coach O'Neill, like every coach throughout the year that appears on the High School Football America podcast, will get a personalized fan gear pack from First Place Spiritwear, the official outfitter of High School Football America. First Place Spiritwear has an up-and-running spiritwear store for every high school football program in America. And it's the hassle-free solution for football coaches and booster clubs to provide fan gear for players and coaches. And what I love the most about these guys, aside from the fact that Mike and Connie Meadows, husband and wife team, founded this company and are just reinventing spiritwear. I mean, first off, it's the alternative to BSN's fan cloth. And what I mean by that is they've got some nuances that make First Place Spiritwear very, very special. First off, stores are open 24/7, 365, and there's no more ordering windows. You know what I'm talking about with that, coaches. And the orders will ship to the home within days. Within days. I'm not talking months. I said within days. And it makes it easy on you because you're not going to have to worry about managing money or managing inventory. First Place Spiritwear's online, and their customer service is outrageously outstanding. Mike and Connie, I've met with them personally. Trish Hoffman and I have gone there. We've toured their factory. These people are the real deal, giving you a hassle-free fan gear solution. And on top of all that good stuff, they give you a Fanatics-like experience with amazing designs. Why do I say a Fanatics-like experience? Well, what did Mike and Connie do? They went out and hired one of the top graphics guys from Fanatics. So you know you are going to get some of the best. And the even better part is when your products get sold, you get 10% of all sales going right into your fundraising budget. All players and coaches and staff, family, they get $10 gift codes. You heard me, right? The price is coming down. And they carry high-quality name brands like Nike, Adidas, and Champion. You will not be disappointed if you check out the fine folks at First Place Spiritwear. Couple of ways to get there. You can go directly to their website and input your name and see your store that's already existing there. That's easy to do. All you have to do is go to firstplacespiritwear.com. That's the number one, stplacespiritwear.com, or when you're on High School Football America on the website, just click on their banner ad that is located on every page of highschoolfootballamerica.com. And the High School Football America podcast is also presented in part by NFL Play Football. Coaches, don't forget to check out playfootball.nfl.com for some great resources to help you improve in the coaching profession. That's today's High School Football America podcast, and I'm Jeff Fisher.